Mine keeps blurping in and out for some reason. Can you still,
You seem to be cutting in and out a little bit, Lori, but I could hear you for a second there.
Sorry, I had some.
Hi, Pearl. Can you still hear me now?
Yes, so sorry, I had to go back out and in. Something happened. Have we,
Can anyone hear me? I don't have any sound again.
I can hear you, Lori, but you're just a little quiet, so you'll have to speak into the microphone.
Pearl, can you hear me now?
yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
No.
Yeah, I could hear both of you guys. Earl, I could hear you, and Lori, I could hear you.
Can anyone else hear audio now?
Sounds good, Lori.
Hear me, Jen?
Lori, I could hear you. Yeah.
Would someone else like to speak for a second? I just want to make sure I can hear you back.
I can hear you, Lori. Is it
Nice and
possible?
clear.
Yeah, can you hear everyone else?
I can hear you, Lori. Can you
I
hear?
can. No, I can't hear you, Ruth.
And I can hear you too, Lori.
I can hear Jen.
Jen, can you hear Ruth?
I can hear everybody. Yeah, I can hear everyone's voices.
Oh, can't hear you. I'm going to try dialing in.
Go see the kids. Go see the kids. Hey, go see the kids. Pip. Pip.
Carrie, if you can hear me, it's Jen Donnell.
I can, yeah.
Do you know if I put in an application to book the Sunshine Bay Park for my class and another class for our year-end, just our year-end field trip for the 23rd of June? I haven't heard anything back from anyone.
Okay.
Do you know if that's been received?
I'll check into that. Generally, all that stuff goes into our parks email, which is great.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the person who is usually able to do that hasn't been able to do it.
Okay.
So we're just trying to get caught up on multiple park use permits. Yeah, they've been coming in fast and furious in the last couple of weeks. So,
Yeah.
so we'll double check and yeah, go ahead and that's fine. I mean, it'll get approved.
Okay.
So we'll try to get something back because it's all through the school, so you guys are insured anyway. There's all the insurance there. It's just a matter of us knowing when it is. So yeah, there's not really going to be anybody else there. And that's
Okay.
it's during the week, right? For the class.
It's Monday. Yeah, it's Monday, June
Yeah.
23rd, and
Yeah.
it's just a matter of it's the same thing that we did last year.
Yep.
Just getting keys to the kitchen because we boil hot dogs. We give the kids hot dogs, watermelon, juice box, and a like a cold treat. So it's just having access to the kitchen and being able to open up the washrooms, just because we have so many kids. Like there's 44 kids and a bunch of adults. So having extra washrooms was really helpful last year. So I just wanted to mention it. I figured because I did send it to the
Okay.
parks one. I figured it's been really, really busy, but I wanted to. Well, I have you here. It saves me a phone call tomorrow.
No, it works. So Jeff is on as well, and I'll talk with Jeff well, I mean, he hears it now, so we'll just double
Yeah.
check and make sure that Scott can have that stuff opened on the Monday morning.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay,
That's
is that
fantastic.
good, Jeff?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Jan, it's Jeff.
Hey,
Yeah,
Jeff.
so I do see it here. And I just marked the email as unread again. So hopefully it does get processed. But like Carrie said,
Okay.
just continue whether you get the paperwork or not. We might follow up after the fact for it. But
Right, okay.
I'll let Scott know right now. So the 23rd, eh?
It's Monday the 23rd, yeah. And we're there, we'll probably be there about 10:45 until 1:30.
Okay.
And we played lots of soccer and just kind of had fun on the fields and then played on the beach for a bit. It's just sort of it was neat because last year it was the first time for a lot of the families that they'd ever been to Sunshine Bay.
No, it's great. Yeah.
They hadn't been to the park, so we wanted to do it again this year as well. We've
awesome.
got, lots of families that were there last year, but lots of new families as well. And so just trying to introduce everybody to the beautiful little park we've got.
Yeah, no, thank you for that, for sure. And yeah, sorry, we're a little bit behind on these things right now.
No, it's all good. I just thought, hey, I got you here. Might as well mention
thank
it.
you. Yeah, thanks.
So I'm thinking if Lori can't get on in the next couple of minutes, maybe we will try to start into the agenda, and then we can fill Lori in. I actually don't know the rules if the chair isn't there. I know you can kind of have an assistant chair in, but Lori hopefully will be able to pop on shortly. Oh, there she is. Lori, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I
good.
can.
Now it's working because it wasn't
There you go.
working. It wasn't connecting. So
Good. We're about to start without you, so good stuff.
Lori, I was worried. I'm like, oh no, let's not cancel. Okay, great. Thanks. I'm glad you can hear me now.
Through the chair, would I be able to call roll call before we start the meeting, just so I know for sure who's there?
Yes, for sure. Thank you, Pearl.
Okay. Commissioner Dosenberger?
Here.
Commissioner Bolak? No. Commissioner Donnell?
Here.
Commissioner Proser?
Prosser is my name. Yes, I'm
Okay.
here.
Thank you. Commissioner McCulloch? No.
She sent her
Commissioner Newton?
apologies. She sent her apologies. She cannot come tonight.
Yes, sorry, I saw that. Commissioner Newton?
Yeah, I'm here.
Director Graham? No.
No, Cheryl's not able to attend this meeting.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
Director
Commissioner
Graham's
Foot?
alternate is here, though, Pearl.
Oh,
So-
what's
And
her?
that's Aaron.
Aaron.
Oh, Aaron Christopherson?
Correct.
And Commissioner Foot.
Here.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
And staff present are Jeff Phillips, Regional Parks Trails Operations Supervisor.
Yep,
Carrie,
I'm here.
Carrie Gaynor. Okay, was it March 13th? Yes, March 13th. March 13th, Sunshine Bay Regional Park Commission meeting minutes have been received.
Yeah, I received them. This is Rich.
Okay. delegates. There were no delegates scheduled for this meeting.
I'm sorry, through the chair. Is the agenda approved as is, or is there any additions or
Oh,
edits?
sorry.
It's not in, I don't know, I didn't prepare the agenda, so I'm not certain why it's not in there, but normally that
Correct.
would be something. Thank you.
That would usually be at the start.
Yeah. We just need a motion to either approve the agenda as presented or as circulated, or add any changes or edits. Ruth?
Did anybody else receive that agenda? Because I saw the minutes for the last meeting, but I don't know that I saw today's agenda attached to the meeting invite.
Oops, sorry. What was that?
I just wanted to know if anybody else had received the agenda, because I saw in the attachment for this meeting link, the last meeting's minutes, but I didn't see the agenda for this meeting.
Oh, I did receive a copy of the agenda. So it's dated
Okay.
June 12th.
It's Jeff. Usually the agenda is the first page, and in this case, it's the first 2 pages. And then if you scroll below that, you see the minutes from the previous meeting.
Okay. That's what got me, because I figured the new meetings was at the bottom. So I just guessed wrong. Okay.
Yeah, that gets me all the time. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, Ken. Okay.
It was an attachment.
Did we get, sorry, did someone approve the agenda?
I'm sorry, through the chair, it was moved by Ruth.
Oh, okay.
And
thank you.
There do need the seconder, please.
I'll second that. It's Rich.
Thanks, Rich. Okay, so item number 2, delegates. There were no delegates scheduled for the commission meeting. And number 3, staff reports, Sunshine Bay Regional Park Operations Update. Jeff Phillips, Regional Parks Operations Supervisor, to provide the commission with a verbal update re the Sunshine Bay Regional Park operations.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Laurie.
Thanks.
I don't know if anyone's been to the park recently, but the exciting door change for the storage room is done. We just still have to trim it out. But I know it doesn't sound like much, but it is a big improvement for us. Now it's much more secure. Remember last year we had some attempted break-ins. This is about as secure as it gets. It's a metal roll-up door like you'd see at a storage locker, or like a self-storage locker sort of thing. And it allows us to feel better about the lawnmower not getting stolen. But also now we can leave the bag catcher on all the time. And it just fits everything a lot better. So what we did, most of that work, all the structural work required, and much of the other work in-house. We had the installer for the garage door itself, where we bought it from. They put the garage door or the door in itself, but we did all the other work. So yeah, we're pretty happy with that, and it's nice to see that kind of more or less over and done with before we got too far into the busy time of the year with all the grass growing and things like that. So so that was nice, and that was sort of, if you recall, that was the bigger notable project task, whatever you want to call it, that was going to happen at the park this year. So yeah, that's complete, other than just the trim work that I know Scott's prepared and ready to go. He's just just waiting for a good day to put it in. Yeah, so other than that, I think the majority of the work has happened over at the riding center, where we have we're completing this year. We're completing the final phase of getting all the barbed wire that sort of circles that whole property down. So this has been a couple years now, 5-6 years is a phased approach to this, and we're on that last leg now of taking that barbed wire. So there won't be any more barbed wire for animals to get hung up on anything around the park. So that's nice to see. We've made a few upgrades to the fence just today. Actually, made an upgrade to the fence that goes down to the beach. The other fence was getting a little tattered and falling apart a little bit. So we've upgraded with our sort of cedar split rail that you've seen around other areas of the park. So that looks much nicer. And especially with the work that our partners are doing to the wetlands beside it, it definitely adds a nice touch to that area. Another thing that we worked with the very adjacent neighbors to the riding center was we were having some issues with them coming into the park with their lawnmowers and mowing paths for themselves, and then using the same paths to bring quads into the park to get down to the beach. And I know that's been raised a number of times at this meeting from not just those neighbors but other people were ripping around. So I wouldn't say these neighbors were ripping around, but people have gone through the park with motorized traffic, and this is one that we sort of found, and we did come to a bit of a working solution. And I think it's a big improvement. But Scott's been mowing the paths, but also additional paths in that area adjacent the riding center, which make really nice walking paths for people that want to go birding or whatever. So yeah, I think that's he's already down there doing the mowing for the riding center, but also the pathway to the beach. So this is just a little bit of extra work for Scott when he's already on site to do, and it does sort of alleviate that issue of neighbors coming in and all the liability issues of them coming in and mowing. So yeah, I think we've come up with a good solution, working with those real adjacent neighbors. And yeah, if anyone has time, I was just trying it out, checking out those. Obviously not in the blazing heat, but someday when it cools down a little bit, there's not much shade. But yeah, it's kind of a nice little circuit that's being developed there. Yeah, so that's been, I guess, the bigger notable thing that's happened there over at the riding center. The Sunday market starts up this week, so that was nice to have Naomi come back, and just getting the agreements and the insurance and all that, everything, all that paperwork is just about fully wrapped up. And yeah, so we're excited to see the market return, and we're open for the same successes that she had last year at the park. Yeah, and a couple other things have come in: a celebration of life, Commissioner Donnell's school group. There's a few things that are going to be happening here. So yeah, I think that basically covers. We are having a bit of an issue at the park with household dumping. This isn't just for Sunshine Bay, but throughout the entire park system. But definitely noticing it at Sunshine Bay, people leaving their household waste, and sometimes at Sunshine Bay, it's not like they're putting it in the receptacle. They're just literally leaving it beside the receptacle, or in some cases, not even close to the receptacle. So we have had bylaw. We've been able to identify one person in particular, and we're looking. We're continuing to investigate and proceeding with bylaw, because we really need the word out that this is sort of unacceptable behavior. And they're certainly not saving money because it costs the taxpayer for us to deal with the garbage as well. We pay when we rock up with the RDCK trucks to dispose of the garbage. It's full pop. There's no deals because we're RDCK bringing the waste So it's just an internal transfer, but it's still taxation that has to pay for that. So so that's something we're continuing to work with and work on. Yeah, a couple other things that we have yet to do is the backstop behind on the half court. Replace a couple sheets of the plywood and give it a good paint. And yeah, I think that's, well, we're going to have to do unfortunately, another round of the Lombardis there. The poplars, some that didn't come back, unfortunately, with all of our efforts. So another round this year will happen eventually. And yeah, some signage upgrades. And I think for the most part, that covers it. I don't know if anyone has any questions about that.
I'd just like to mention, Jeff, this is Ruth here. Can you hear me?
I can, Ruth. Yes, I can.
I just wanted to mention and thank the local people who came out to the wetland last week to help with the laying down of the cardboard and the benthic barrier and the mulch to help control the canary grass. There were about 12 to 14 people there working away, so that was great. At least half of that number were our community members.
Oh, good. That's great to hear. Yeah. So yeah, you would have seen the old fence down at that point.
Yeah,
And
he was
then
working on it that day.
yeah, right on. And just today they were able to finish it. So the photo I got, it really makes the work that yourself and the other communities, it really pops in behind the fence. I don't know. It's definitely a nice look.
Hope that it worked.
Yeah. I should just mention, I know this isn't really about this park, but we did have an employee that retired in Ainsworth that also took care of Belfer. So just, I guess, for everybody's information is we did talk about this when we brought Scott on, but we are using Scott to help for the interim, at least anyway, at Belfer. So yeah, I know I just wanted to give everybody that heads up that Scott's great work ethic is, helping out a lot at the parks on your side of the ferry, but we're starting to, find use for him other places too. And it's great value.
Yay, Scott.
For
Yay,
sure.
That's great that he's able to help out at the Balfour too then.
Yeah. And it's really efficient because he's, as all you have to take your garbage and recycling and things like that over to the transfer station. And he has to do the same with the park garbage. So he's right there anyway. Over at the Belfour Beach, the end of Meadow Street, got a nice park there that's mostly known for its best beaches on the main part of the lake there. So yeah, it's got a garbage receptacle and picnic tables and a few other amenities that need that attention. So he's more than willing to help us out.
That's great.
Hey, Jeff, this is Rich.
Rich.
Just have a question. I've seen posts on social media of the last, couple of months or so with the warmer weather, of large groups of people having campfires down and leaving the place in a bit of a mess. Is that something we're seeing a lot of, or is that kind of like a one-off, or what are your thoughts on that?
I honestly haven't heard. I didn't see that. So Sunshine Bay, it does have fire rings. So people are allowed to have fires in the fire rings there up until obviously the restrictions come in if they do. But I didn't get any, Scott hasn't brought anything notable to my attention there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Maybe the people who saw it kind of cleaned it up, and I think it was kind of pallets with nails and broken glass, that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, Jeff, sorry, I should have sent you an email note just to bring you, just to make sure you were aware of it. But it was the pellet thing. Someone went in there with a bunch of pellets again.
Okay. Yeah.
And threw them on the fire ring. And of course, by the time they burn, you got a ring of nails all around it in it. And I just run into Scott the night before and said, "Oh, everything going good down there?" He said, "Yeah." And then I think it was the next day there was a post about a big fire that they left all this debris from the pellets were down there, and Scott went down and cleaned it all up and used his metal his big magnet to get the nails.
Oh,
out
that's
of
great.
Yeah, but it was similar to what happened last year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they left quite a mess.
I wish I could say that that was unique to Sunshine Bay, but it certainly isn't. The pallet parties and the pallet fires.
Well, I
We're
think
definitely at peak season for that right now, sort of end of school and grad and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, unfortunately, that's not unique to Sunshine Bay and pretty prevalent at, Tagum and a little bit of Cottonwood Lake as well.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. And I think over here, the Harrop Nursery actually advertises pellets available. So that's probably where a lot of them might even come from.
Yeah, totally. And, it's maybe at one point I should stop in there and talk to them about, if they
Yeah.
could just sort of disclaim, hey, where are these going? Are you taking them home or are you taking them to a public area?
Yeah, I don't know how you'd stop it, but they're probably looking free firewood, right?
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and Lori, through the chair, it's Carrie. We have actually done that here. Kootenai Industrial Supply used to always have a big pallet sitting out, and we did go talk to them and say, "Hey, look, we're having an issue with people burning pallets at our parks. So if you see, usually it's young kids. I say young, much more younger than myself. So young kids going out and bringing the pallets up. So maybe what Jeff suggested might be a good idea, just to say, look, if you see some young kids coming in, maybe just ask them what it's for, because it does end up being a bit of a cost sink for us too, to be able to go clean that up, and it's dangerous, right? The amount of nails and everything else that are left. So, thanks.
Yeah, and one of the other things I was going to mention about down at Sunshine Bay Park, I know the seniors have been doing some of the recycling, and I think the recyclables down at Sunshine Bay Park have been going to, I think some of them have been going to the riding club, and some have been going kind of donated to the seniors club, which is a great idea, I thought, because they're helping do it and go through it and take them in or whatever, and it supports those two local groups. So I wasn't sure if everyone was aware that some of that goes on too, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, no, that's great. They did there was about a year or two that they weren't into that. So
Right.
Scott and I was bringing them back and leaving them at the bottle depot. They have a bin there.
Right.
And it gets donated to charity. But yeah, I was glad to hear that they came back, that the seniors club was willing to, because unfortunately it's not, there is some manual work in there. When you look in the bag, it's, 80% of it's recyclable, but the other 20 is just garbage. So there is some work to, go through that.
Yeah, so I guess they're still putting some garbage in the bottle bin there a little bit too. So.
Yeah.
I did go down and look at the new door on the shed. It looks great. Looked really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. It's anyway, it's much more secure. And like I say, it's a much more efficient operation for us to leave that bagger on, and it's just a bigger space. Less chance of something getting wrecked when you're backing that mower in.
Right. And I did hear that parts of the edge of the soccer field were starting to dry up a bit. So I mean, with this rain, I'm sure it's probably going to green up pretty fast if we continue to get a little more rain. But were there
Yeah,
still going to be some additions to the sprinkler system?
well, there, we have talked about putting another like length in the very, very back there.
Mhm.
But the area that I think you're referring to, Lori, closer to the pavilion and things like that, is that strip of grass that's dying that you noticed is going a little yellow? Is that the-
Yeah, I think
yeah.
that's where it was.
So it's curious for sure, because we're certainly not underwatering. That
Mhm.
irrigation system starts at 8 o'clock at night and
Right.
doesn't shut off until eight in the morning. So it's on for a full 12 hours.
Mhm.
So each zone is getting, maybe too much water. Some would say, I don't know, it could be. But why that field isn't, a lush green is, well, Carrie and I were talking about that earlier and sent some emails off to some of my coworkers that are specialized in this or have more knowledge than I do. And it's an interesting one because Sunshine Bay, has its own water system. We don't have the water restrictions like we do at other parks where we see this sort of, the grass go dormant because we don't have enough water. They restrict us, but at Sunshine Bay, we don't have that. So, it's something we're aware of, but yeah, we don't know what's causing it.
Okay, so
Certainly,
it's not because it's underwater then for sure. Okay.
yeah, like it's I think part of the just the like underneath that is very, the sand drains really well, obviously. So I don't think the water sticks around very much. So maybe we could think of some top dressing and add some more organics and loam, some stuff that holds water a little more closer to the surface. That's something that we could consider for next year. Yeah, but again, because we don't have the water restrictions, we do have an opportunity here to have that, as green as it can be. So it's interesting to me on why we're already seeing that now. So yes, we have had some hot days for sure, but that's something we would normally not see till, July, August. So
Right.
It's Elaine Bolak speaking up here. I just ran and looked out the window because we overlook the park fairly well, except for the trees. And from our perspective, it seems to be the area closer to Rooks Creek.
okay.
At the far end of the main part of the park. And then areas where the sprinklers don't sometimes reach. I think sometimes, sprinklers get dirt in them or something and they don't. And I don't think they actually go over to where the Rooks Creek, there's quite a wide strip there. But I don't think gets sprinkled just because I don't think the sprinklers, I don't know if they go down there or not.
No, yeah, that's correct, Elaine. There is a swath there
Right.
between the soccer field and Brooks Creek that doesn't have a zone. And I think that's the area that Lori's referring to, that if we were going to add another zone, we would go way over there. So
Mhm.
And I
think
I believe I mentioned it before, just the plumbing system, the way the system runs is, unfortunately, it's not like a header pipe that runs down the side of the field and we just tie into that and add another zone. We have to pipe it all the way back to the irrigation shed. So yeah, it wouldn't be it's not a hugely difficult job, but it would also be, quite a bit of a disturbance. So it's certainly something we should look into. There is something that Scott raised as something I'd like to look into, and maybe I'll just bring this up now, is a drinking water fountain. We don't have a lot of parks that have potable water, and Sunshine is one that does. So I think it's a great suggestion that I'll be looking into, and depending on the cost, raising it in the fall, or if it's something that we can afford in the budget, that's something we might move forward on. I think, Carrie, it's the first time you're hearing this, but so anyway, it's just something we're looking into, and I just bring that to your attention just in case one day you see a fountain at the side of one of the buildings.
It would be amazing if that fountain could support filling small water bottles and stuff for people who are on the beach. That would be a super nice addition.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was explaining to Scott was, yeah, unfortunately, well, there was a time where those normal, just strictly drinking water fountains weren't sort of, during COVID and that sort of hangover from COVID, those were sort of faux pas, and they were water bottle filling stations, which are obviously a little bit more involved, and of course the cost goes up a little bit. So, but
Mhm.
I agree, Ken, because of the activities and the beach being away, I think whatever we do there should have that as well.
Yeah, I think something to consider if that was done too. I know like Belfer Superette there fills up people's waters, like they offer that service where people come in with campers and things like that and fill stuff up. And I could actually see that if people were, rather than just filling up their small water bottles, people might start filling up larger items. I don't know what kind of strain that would put on the current system, if anything, but something to.
Well, it wouldn't be like that. It would be like I've seen lots of them now. They have a little sort of a drinking fountain on one side, and then inches away is a little spot to put a bottle where you
Oh,
just put
okay.
your bottle in there. There's no hose to hook up to, or there's no way to really kind of
Fill up
funnel
something
off that
bigger.
water into something else. It's they're pretty commonplace now.
Oh, okay.
And as Jeff said, after COVID, those items seem to become much more prevalent in public areas and whatnot. And it is a nice addition to be able to fill up your water bottle. But obviously, a camper or camping gear and bigger jugs, that's it wouldn't really work on a unit like that, or at least the ones I've seen.
Perfect. So does
So, Lori,
anyone have, oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Lori, I was just going to see if you wanted me to just jump into the budget part, but
Yep, go ahead. I was just going to check and see if anyone had any more questions about any other areas of the park or anything, or do we have any, are the docks, last time I was down at Sunshine Bay was on the fishing weekend, which was not very busy this time, which I was surprised. But anyways, that weekend the docks seem to be getting fewer pieces there. Are they being dismantled, or are they just disappearing?
yeah, they're just they're disappearing.
Okay.
Yeah, the Mother Nature's just having her way. Now Scott's going out there at least twice a month, sort of thing, to pick up the styrofoam that sheds away from those.
Right.
But he has noted that, you know, they're really starting to decay quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Can I just ask quickly which creek the water system for the park is on?
it's actually a drilled well, Ruth.
Oh, it's a-
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just I don't know how deep it is, but I don't think it would be very deep, you know, with its location close to the lake there. It's tested at least once a month with Interior Health. And yeah, from my experience, we've never had a positive test, which means a bad thing, positive in this case. So it's always been good results. Yeah, like never had any total coliforms or E. coli or anything like that.
So there is someone still taking it in for testing on a regular basis then?
Yep. So I have been doing it, and actually just yesterday I sort of gave Scott the training to do that, and the riding center is the same thing as well. It's a recognized drinking water system with Interior Health.
Mhm.
So it needs to be sampled at least once a month with the IH covering the sampling costs.
Okay.
So Lori, yeah, I could maybe get into the budgets if you want me to.
That
Yeah.
sounds great. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, we're tracking to be under budget, if I had to say, for the whole year. Right now, the last quarterly report I had, sorry, was back in April that finance made for us, and at that point we were at 22% of utilizing 22% of the budget. Just from what I can tell now, looking at more recent, like up to date information, we're probably up around 30% budget utilization. So I think we're tracking really well. And I don't see any concern at all about going over budget. In fact, we'll probably end the year under budget. There is one item here that was accrued in the work was done. The tree work unfortunately in 2024 is showing up in our 2025 budget. So that's unfortunate. But even with that, we are still at that 22% in April, or about 30% now. So that's something that I'd like to bring up to finance. But even with that thing, like I say, we're still tracking well, I feel. And like I mentioned, we don't have any major notable tasks. Of course, it's always nice to have some money here just in case, the rainy day, if something happens, a couple things happen and suddenly we're in it. But yeah, I'm feeling good about that. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it for that. The discussion of the water fountain, obviously, if it's a minor cost, we'll do it. If it's a major cost, we'll come back to this group as we do during that sort of budget build-up process and discuss it. So yeah, I don't know if anyone has any questions related to the budget end of things.
No.
For 4 public time, I'd like to call for questions from the public at 6:53 p.m. If there's any members of the public. So let's see here. So Pearl, the next meeting, do you have the next meeting date?
Yes, it's September 11th at 6 p.m.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
So the next Sunshine Bay Park Commission meeting is scheduled for September the 11th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
That's gonna come too soon.
It's hard to believe it's June already, mid-June. And it is a lot hotter, I have to say, because we've already hayed one field and we haven't hayed this early in a long time. Yeah. So if there's no more questions from the commission, I'd like to adjourn the meeting.
Elaine, I'd just like to apologize for coming on so late today. We were in town all day shopping and things got away from us. I forgot about it.
Well, it's nice to see you, Elaine.
Thank you. I can't see most of you. There's Jim.
So you are Carrie coming out to the market on Sundays once in a while?
We are going to try to make it out as a family sometime, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Good idea. It seems like a short duration. You got to be there from 9 till noon. So if you're planning on lunch, you better bring it with you.
Oh,
Well,
they
gotta
have
get there early for the vegetables.
Yeah.
They usually have lots of goodies there to eat, though.
The kitchen, yeah, there's lots to buy if you want to eat something.
Mm-hmm.
Your drink.
I indulge. So I'd like to adjourn the meeting at 6:56 p.m.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a good week.
Okay. Thanks
so
everyone.
much.
Good
Have a
night.
good night.
Thanks. Thank you.
Bye bye.
I know.
Good night, everyone.